Kaatra'li, a young Yilan warrior, clutched her vibroblade in her hands as she glared across the dimly lit cell at the alien creature huddled in the corner. The humans, she had been told, were brutal and dangerous, capable of tearing apart even the fiercest fighters of her kind. Captured during an ill-fated raid on a distant outpost, Kaatra'li had been brought aboard a human ship, a floating fortress of metal and strange technology. She didn't know what to expect next, only that she was now entirely at their mercy. She steeled herself for the worst. Surely, they would torture her, extract the secrets of her people. Maybe they would devour her for sustenance. The thought sent a shiver down her spine. Her captor was a lone human named Captain Grant. She had heard rumors of him. His reputation among the Yilan was a terrifying one. He was said to be ruthless in battle, a monster in the guise of a man. She expected him to break her. But as he sat down in front of her, his eyes gentle and weary, he simply extended his hand with a small, wrapped bundle. "Here," he said, his voice soft but oddly firm, a stark contrast to what she'd expected from a bloodthirsty human. "I thought you might be hungry." Kaatra'li blinked, trying to process this strange gesture. Her people had a certain belief about humans, that they fed on the flesh of their enemies, that they conquered not only for territory but for sustenance, taking the strength of those they defeated. This, however, was nothing like what she'd imagined. Why aren't you devouring me?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper, her pride conflicted with fear. Captain Grant tilted his head, a mix of confusion and mild amusement playing across his face. "Devour you? We're not like that," he said with a chuckle. "Trust me, I've got more than enough food. This," he gestured to the bundle of food, "this is just to help. I know how hard it can be to adjust in a place where everything is unfamiliar." Kaatra'li couldn't hide her surprise. She cautiously unwrapped the bundle, revealing a warm, savory-smelling meal inside. Her stomach growled, betraying her hunger, and she couldn't help but take a tentative bite. She expected poison, perhaps, but what she tasted was different, a softness, a kindness that was both foreign and bewildering. As she ate, Captain Grant spoke, filling the silence. He talked about life on Earth, describing in vivid detail things she had never seen. Forests that stretched endlessly under the sun, rivers teeming with life, and open skies that seemed to go on forever. She listened, almost entranced, as he spoke of his home planet's marvels and his people's dedication to protecting life, even if that meant avoiding violence when possible. "Why are you telling me this?" she finally asked, her suspicion still there but softened. "Because I want you to know that not all of us are your enemy," he said, meeting her gaze. "The galaxy is big, and I think we're all just trying to make our way through it. I believe we have more in common than we might realize." Silence fell as Kaatra'li pondered his words. Her entire life, she had been trained to believe that humans were monsters. And here, in this cold cell, she found herself grappling with a truth that felt as alien as the stars themselves. This human, at least, was not a monster. Days passed, and Kaatra'li's imprisonment turned into an unexpected alliance. Captain Grant continued to bring her meals, to talk with her about life beyond the stars, and gradually, her hardened exterior began to crack. One evening, as they sat together, he asked, "Do you want to go home?" The question was simple, yet it struck her to the core. She did want to go home, but she had never imagined that a human, a supposed enemy, would offer her the choice. "Yes," she whispered, feeling the weight of her own admission. Captain Grant nodded. "Then we'll make it happen," he said. "I'll arrange for your safe return." Kaatra'li's eyes widened. "But why would you do that for me? You gain nothing." Grant just smiled. "Maybe that's true. But maybe, in a galaxy full of war and fear, it's time to start planting a little peace." As he arranged her release, she felt a strange pang of something she couldn't define, an emotion she had never felt for a human before. Respect? Maybe even gratitude? She didn't know. When she finally set foot on her own planet once more, Kaatra'li found herself changed. She had seen the enemy, and he had offered her food instead of fear, warmth instead of war. In time, the legends of the human named Grant spread among the Yilan people, and slowly, alliances began to form. And Kaatra'li became known not as a warrior, but as the one who met the first human who showed her that not all were monsters. And in the end, it was the human's unexpected kindness, not his weapons, that had won her over.